Hi, my name is Safaa, and I'm the director for this year's production of Macbeth.
I'm Alyana, and I play Macbeth.
I'm Sam, and I am the head stage manager.
So we would like to just welcome you all to our virtual production of Macbeth. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the classic Shakespeare tale, a story of ruthless ambition and power, and what happens when that can get into the wrong hands. And this year we wanted to do a post-apocalyptic modern version of this tale. And initially, we were going to have the play performed on stage and film it with masks and social distancing. But obviously, in adapting to the new circumstances, we decided to film it virtually through Zoom.
So, from the actor side of things, even when we went online, the effort and the commitment that all these actors put into this show did not lessen at all. Some people were showing up for 3 rehearsals a week, and we all had to learn to do our own hair and makeup. I don't think any of the actors had done Shakespeare before this show, but everyone committed to grasping the language and really digging into the characters. So it was a learning experience for all of us, and I hope that you can understand what we're saying. I'm very glad that we managed to put on a play because I know most school plays got canceled. It's wonderful that everyone who got to work on this play got to be a part of something so communal in such an isolated year.
What you guys are about to watch is an effort of many people over many, many months, starting from rehearsals to backstage meetings to tech and weekend and fight rehearsals to online makeup and hair, props, sets, tutorials, to even cinematography and soundtracks being made, to finally what you guys are going to see here today. To say the least, it has been a very long stretch.
So just a final fun fact before we begin. Some sources say that Shakespeare actually wrote Macbeth during the bubonic plague while he was cooped up at home. And so I think that he would really approve of our production being performed in very, very similar circumstances. And so just before we begin, again, big thanks to Mr. Reynolds, Mr. Hitchcock, and Ms. Hitchcock for all of their guidance and support every step of the way. So that being said, we really hope you enjoy the show.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
And where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Haddock calls.
Anon.
Fair
is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and the filthy air.
Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks through his eyes! So should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Narayan banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. Till Macbeth, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Oh, great happiness!
That now, Sweno, the Norway's king, craves composition, nor did we deign him barrel of his men till he disbursed at St. Colm's Inch $10,000 to our general use.
No more than a Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and his formal title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he has lost, no more Macbeth hath won.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters hand in hand.
Posters
of the sea and land. Thus
you go about, thrice thine, thrice mine,
and thrice again.
then to make up 9. Peace, the charms went.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far 'tis called to forest? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it? Live you, or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by each at once her choppy finger lay upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, vein of glums.
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? I, the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can, look into the seeds of time, and say which grain will grow and which will not. Speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
All hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Hey, speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
Earth hath bubbles, as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they have stayed?
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and advantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wreck, I know not. But treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you onto the crown, besides Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange. And oftentimes, to win us to our harms, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betrays and deepest consequence. Cousins, a word I pray you.
2 truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner is wrapped. Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Done on Cawdor, are those commissioned yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that, very frankly, he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle.
There is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. O worthy cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy upon me. Thou art so far before, that swiftest wing of recompense was slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, the promotion of both thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more as thy due, than more than all can pay.
The service and loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton and fullest, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are nearest, know we will establish our state upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers, from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let light not see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, worthy Banquo. He is full so valiant, and in his accommodations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care's gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
Lambs thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet Do I fear thy nature? It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou wholly. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'st have great glams, that which cries, thus thou must do. If thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, then wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect in it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substance you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great glams, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond the ignorant present, and I feel now the future in an instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself upon our gentle senses. See, our honored hostess, the love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which we still think is love.
All our service in every point twice done, and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Give me your hand, conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, as shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his Circe's success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, will jump the life to come. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From such time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time, nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would have, while it was smiling up at my face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums and dashed its brains out. Had I so sworn as you two have done this?
If we should fail?
We fail? But screw your courage to this sticking place and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him. His two chamberlains will lie with wine and wassail, so convinced that memory, the warder of the brain, shall become a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform against the unguarded Duncan? What's not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great quill?
Bring forth men children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False-faced must hide what false heart doth know.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counselled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Go bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There is no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deed too cold breath gives. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell which summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark, peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets so that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What? Ho!
Alack, I am afraid they have awakened and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark, I laid their daggers ready. He could not have missed them. Oh, had he not resembled my father as he slept, I have done it. My husband?
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owls shriek and the crickets cry. Didst thou not speak?
When?
Now?
As I descended?
I?
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and Amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say Amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce Amen? I had most need of blessing, and Amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after in these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that cried? Why, worthy Thane, do you unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things? Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you bring the daggers from that place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Firm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
What hands are here? Ah, they pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is then. Your constancy hath left you unattended.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
The king stirring, worthy thing?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble for you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clambered the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive or name thee.
What's the matter?
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. The most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple, and stole thence the life of the building.
What is it you say? The life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight. With new Gorgon, do not bid me speak. See, and speak yourselves. Awake, awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake!
What's the business that such hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of this house? Speak! Speak!
O gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. O Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Woe, alas! What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Jeff, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there is nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and race is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere leaf is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pauser, reason. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known?
Help me hence, ho!
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here, where our fate, hid in an auger hole, may rush and seize us? Let's away, our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady, and when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work, to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undervolt pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all. Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
Well contented.
Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England, and you to Ireland. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers and men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody. This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft, which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath killed.
Alas the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them the suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition that will riven up thine own lives means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scun to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of their predecessors and the guardians of their bones.
Will you to Scun?
No, cousin, I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well down there. Adieu. And lest our old roof sit easier than our new.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis. All as the weird women promised, and I fear thou play'st most foully for it. Yet it was said that it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great peace, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness commend upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time, twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the faster, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu till your return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord, our time does call upon.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind, he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them. And mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then now, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past who held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self?
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Are you so gospelled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do despite the world.
And I another, so weary with the disasters tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on it.
Both of you know Banquo is your enemy.
True, my
True,
lord.
my lord.
So is he mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on it. For it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. Always thought that I require a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, Fleance, his son, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former too. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the world suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, or sleep under the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle, my lord, sleek over your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence, both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his Fleance lives.
But in them, nature's copy's not a turn.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whilst night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee, go with me.
A light, a light.
Into it.
Will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance, fly, fly! Thou mayst revenge! Oh, slave!
Who did strike out the light?
Was not the best way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled. We've lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your
Majesty.
Ourselves will play the humble host and mingle with society. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. For my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their hearts' thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth. Anon we'll drink a measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal sir, Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, bounded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo safe?
Aye, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 treacherous gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature, which in time will venom breed, no teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched, while 'tis a making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now, good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness sit?
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company?
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
My good lord.
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sits, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought, he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, imposters to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter fire authorized by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When it's all done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there! Behold! Look! Lo! How say you? Why, what care I? If thou canst not, speak too. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
What quite unmanned in folly!
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie, for shame!
The time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. Now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the table and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare I dare? Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why so, being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think that you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Questions enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have, by maggot pies and choughs and rooks, brought forth the secret's man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How say'st thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them that in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means, the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in heart, that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, Duncan was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late, for whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Who could not want the thought of how monstrous it was for Malcolm and Donalbain to kill their gracious father? damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth, did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. And I do think that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as and please heaven he shall not, they should find what 'twere to kill the father, so should flay us. But peace, for from broad words, and because he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court and is received as the most pious Edward, with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that by the help of these, with him above to ratify the work, we may again give our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts, and banquets bloody knives, do faithful homage and receive free honors. And this report hath so exasperated the king that he prepares himself for the attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute, sir, not I, the cloudy messenger turns me his back and hums, as who should say, you'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer.
And that one might advise him to a caution to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this, our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Thrice the grinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Told that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom sleeping pots. Boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. The lay of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf, of the raven, salt sea shark, root of hemlock, digdeth dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat, and slips of you slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, finger of birth's strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the scroll thick and slab, add Thorito to a tiger's chaudron for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
Oh, well done. I commend your pains, and everyone shall share the gains. And now about the cauldron sing, like elves or fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open, locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret, black and midnight hags? What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it, answer me. Even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Say, if thou hadst rather hear it from our mouths, or from our masters.
Call 'em, let me see 'em.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh. Grease that sweating from a murderer's gibbet. Pour into the flame.
High or low, thy serpent office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Listen, but speak thou not.
Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one word more.
Will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good. Rebellious dead, rise never till the wood of Birnam rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know. Why sinks that cauldron? And what noise is this?
Show.
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 Show
his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down, thy crown does sear mine eyeballs. And thy hair, thou other golden bound brow, is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth, stark eyes. What, will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet? A seventh? I'll see no more. And yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more. And some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-bolter Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What, is this so?
Aye, sir. All this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, join now and give him the best of our delights, that this great king may kindly say our welcome to his duties pay.
Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my good lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3 that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time, thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is or took unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Come, where are these gentlemen? Bring me where they are.
Sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you do for a father?
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take an only man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse for fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Well, whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometimes accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, to have put up that womanly defense, to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where thou mightst find him.
He is a traitor. What, you egg? Young fry of treachery?
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall and birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland, and yelled out like syllable of dollar.
What I believe, I'll wail. What no believe, and what I can redress, as I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts could not transpose.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why in that rawness left you wife and child, those precious motives, those strong knots of love, without leave-taking? You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lie thou thy base assure, for goodness dare not check thee.
Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer and more sundry ways than ever, by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself I mean, and whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there is no bottom, none in my voluptuousness, my desire, all continent impediments would o'erbear that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of happy throne and the fall of many kings, but fear not, yet to take upon you what is yours.
With this, there grows, in my most ill-composed affection, such a stanchless avarice that, were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels in his other's house, and my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear, Scotland hath foisons to fill up your will. Of your mere own, all these are portable with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting it many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern and speak, I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not fit to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred, when shall thou see thy wholesome days again? Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee oftener on her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. O my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, at no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old Seward with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. See, who comes there?
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, but times remove the means that make us strangers.
Sir, Amen.
Stand Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, it cannot be called our mother, but our grave. We're nothing, but who knows one thing is once seen to smile. The dead man's knell is there scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken.
Oh, relation, too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace?
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Do not be a niggard of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witnessed the rather, for I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doth their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good sword and 10,000 men. An older and a better soldier, none that Christendom gives out.
Would I could answer this comfort with a like, but I have words that should be howled out into the desert air, where hearing them should not latch them. Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes were savagely slaughtered. If I were to relate to you the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven. What, man? Never pull your hat upon your brows. Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'er-fraught heart and bids it break.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence, my wife killed too?
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children, and all my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hell kite, all? What, all my pretty chickens and their dam in one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and not take in their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine. Fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and the braggart with my tongue, but gentle heavens cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him not.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. The powers above put on their instruments, and Macbeth is ripe for shaking. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long, that never finds the day.
Out, damn spot! Out, I say! 1, 2. Why then? 'Tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord. Fie. A soldier and afeared? What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet, who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? Oh. A thane, a fief, had a wife. Where is she now? What will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. mar all with this starting. Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Ah. Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out of his grave. To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham would remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. Seaton, I am sick at heart when I behold. Seaton, I say, this push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I have lived long enough.
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, with what's reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Scur the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory of rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Come, put mine armor on. Give me my staff. Seaton, send out. Doctor, the things fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb senna or what purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hear'st thou of them? Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery err in report of us.
We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keep still in Dunsinane, and will endure our settling down before it.
'Tis his main hope. For where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him, but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will, with due decision, make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative, their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues, strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
for was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious, my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
If thou speak'st false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Blow, wind, come, rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough. Your leafy screens throw down, and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff and we shall take upon as what else remains to do, according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none.
That way the noises. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are higher to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheath again undeed.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whiles I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhounds, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed, that palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole, and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's speech, and to be baited by the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and thou oppose being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold, enough!
I would the friends we miss were safe arrive.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man, he died.
Then he is dead?
Aye, and brought of the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them to a fairer death. And so his knell is knolled.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score. And so, God be with him. Here comes your comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail,
King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought, by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scun.
Hail, King of Scotland!